Welcome to the Jones Zone, a podcast by Darryl and JJ Jones.
Hello, everybody. Today, my guest is Lori. I sold our house. How long have you been in Tennessee?
Going on 2 years in February. So you sold our house in January of 2021.
Oh, that's right. I think that was when I had COVID, possibly.
Yes, it was
Yes.
right in the middle.
Yes. You moved to Tennessee. It's been a couple years now, Tim and Lori. And this is Lori. She's going to answer all these questions for any of you Californians who are considering moving to Tennessee. I love the Tennessee shirt.
Okay, so
Where
it
it says-
says, my heart is bigger in Tennessee, and it's the Grinch.
All right. So I have a series of questions that I ask people because I think they're questions that any California or anybody for that matter wants to know prior to moving to any state. So I'm just going to delve right into it. So tell us, why did you move to Tennessee?
Oh my gosh, how long is our podcast?
Well, as long as you want.
We knew eventually we did not want to retire in California and be there with the high cost of living and what we still owed on our house back there. Financially, we had to make a lot of decisions quicker than we thought we would because I had to medically retire from my career. And with that being said, my retirement pension is significantly less than what I made in my career. That escalated the timeline about 8 years, and we were seeing that the housing market was getting really, really hot. And we started just kind of walking into the steps of what does it look like. We had looked at other states prior because, like I said, we knew we did not want to retire in California. We had looked in Texas. We made a couple of scouting trips there in, I believe, 2018, and God closed the door on that state for us. And then we looked at Idaho, and God immediately closed the door on that state. And our next state was going to be Tennessee. And then COVID happened, and we kind of just retreated and just kind of waited. Started looking in early 21 at Tennessee, and all the doors were just flying open for us.
Financial reasons is the
Financial,
main
and then social,
cost of living.
cost of living, socio-economic, political. You know, we're conservative Christians and love, love, love it. We're in a very small town.
What town are you in, and where is it close to? What's the biggest town that you're close to?
Okay, we're in Fairview, Tennessee, which is 30 minutes from our front door to Nashville International Airport. So we're about 25 minutes from downtown Nashville. We are about 30 minutes from Franklin. We're about 20 minutes from Dixon, which is all different directions. So in our little community, we have a super Walmart. We have a couple of grocery stores. We have doctors here. Our doctors are here. Our dentist is here. She's awesome. Our eye clinic is here.
Okay, so you're outside of Nashville.
Nashville.
What are the biggest differences now that you've been there for 2 years? What are the biggest differences you've seen between
Wow.
Tennessee and California?
The people are very friendly here. The neighbors are so helpful. I know the mayor in our town. I never knew the mayor in Fullerton, California, ever. We've gone to city meetings. The guy down the road, he was a city commissioner. There's another guy, there's a city commissioner seat opening. He comes over and we chat just about the zoning and rebuilding. And it's just a much more hands-on. People know you. Like, I was sick for a couple weeks. I went into the grocery store yesterday and they're like, "Oh, Miss Lori, where have you been?" It's just, people know you here, and you go into the restaurant and like, "Oh, I see someone from church here." It's really a small world here.
Small town feel.
It's a very small town feel. I love it. 10 minutes away, we're in the middle of the country, seeing deer, seeing horses, seeing wild turkey. I kid you not, we will stop on the road and let the wild turkey walk by. It's crazy. It's amazing.
What surprised you the most from this move that you didn't maybe expect?
How great our medical team is. That was like a real concern for me going into retirement and going into this season of our life. The financial difference, the tax difference, just a lot of the financial. I had no idea there's like a specialty cap on electricity in Tennessee. 200 years ago, I guess there was a city that flooded, and it was underground. And as a result of that, in eastern Tennessee, they built a huge dam. I forget the name of it. Anyway, that brought on like an energy saving
Like a surplus.
surplus, yeah, for hundreds of years into the future. So That's what really surprised me. Our house in California was 1,600 feet, one story, older house. Our house is 8 years old. We have an 1,800 square foot house with a vaulted ceiling in our living room. And we have an upstairs in our house here. And I kid you not, we both have sleep apnea. We had the SoCal Edison discount, medical baseline discount, like 40% off. Our bill would be $300, $350. Here, are you sitting down? Our
I am.
electric bill for a bigger house at 72 degrees, no medical baseline discount, about 124 a month.
Wow. So
Yeah.
major difference in that. How is the weather? Californians are blessed with some of that, been really spoiled with some of this weather we have in California. It's so mild. But tell us about the weather where you're at in Tennessee.
We're probably the Grinch of Californians because we would always get depressed every Christmas and winter. We never could wear our pretty sweaters, just downright frustrated on Christmas Day. There'd be the Santa Anas, it'd be 85, 90 degrees. And we were just like, and just so dry. Here, the biggest difference, there are 4 seasons, which I love. The fall colors are gorgeous. In the spring, you see the budding trees, all the different colors, and the lush green in the summer. And it does rain here every week, a couple times a week. We're in, quote, a drought right now, which I think is funny because we had rain last week, but it's been a dry fall. It's very green here. There are tornado watches. They don't really pass through our town because it's very hilly here. It's more like the flatlands of like the plains, like in southern Tennessee.
So it's December right now. So it's 74 degrees here in Orange County, California. What's the temperature there?
Alexa, what's the weather right now?
The current weather is 50 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today, you can
All
look
right.
for weather with a high of 59 degrees and a low of 38 degrees.
There you have it.
38 to 50. Alexa, wow, how that's first time she's been on the podcast. That's cool.
Well, that's great. She can tell you all kinds of things about our little area, but
You've been there a couple of years. What's the coldest it's gotten?
oh, wow. Last Christmas, it was -5 degrees. It was
Oh,
was
wow.
like a record cold front. They called it an Arctic blast. And I guess it had been like 50 years since we had that. I've never been in that cold of weather in my life. I mean, all the trips we ever made to Mammoth in the mountains, 20 degrees, but I had never actually physically been in anything under 0 degrees.
But that's obviously not typical though. So what would your normal low for Tennessee gets down to 20s?
10.
10.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
So it
I
gets
mean,
cold.
it gets cold.
How long does the cool season last?
We'll have a snap of a couple warm days here and there. The week of Halloween, we got a cold snap, and it's been cold ever since Halloween. People were like bundled up. It was freezing at night. Since Halloween, we're at the middle of December
yeah.
almost. We've only had like maybe a couple 4 or 5 70-degree days. Everything else has been lower.
What about the humidity? I've had friends, actually a high school buddy that's been in Tennessee for a long time. He did say there's some humidity that you have to be okay with a certain amount of humidity. How long is that? A couple of months of humidity? What are you seeing there in Tennessee?
Yeah, not long. We were preparing ourselves for it to be like this terrible thing. Like every time we go back to South Carolina to see our son, because he lived in South Carolina, it would be very humid. And when we've been to Georgia, oh my goodness, that is Hotlanta. That's humid compared to where we're at.
What's the elevation of where you're at?
Alexa, what's the elevation in Fairview, Tennessee?
Fairview, Tennessee has an elevation of 823 feet.
Okay.
200 meters above sea level.
There you have it.
All right. How about the taxes? How are the taxes? You got property taxes. How are the state taxes, sales tax, registration for cars, all that fun stuff?
Okay. Registration for cars, about $65. If you have personalized plates, it's about $110. Property taxes is about, for our house, I believe it's $1,300 a year. Sales taxes, Alexa, what's the sales tax in Tennessee?
Tennessee has a sales tax rate of 7%. This rate can increase by county and city taxes. reaching 9.75%.
Well, you want to ask me about gasoline?
You read my mind. What is a gallon of gas right now in Tennessee in the middle of December?
At the Shell station in town, $2.89. If I go to the county over, Dixon County, it's even cheaper. It's about $2.68.
So how's the economy? What are the jobs? Is there a primary industry in where you're at? For example, I mean, I know California is pretty diversified with lots of industries. Seattle has the tech and Northern California has tech. Does Tennessee have anything or what pops up?
They do. The music industry, the film industry, the Christian film industry is very hot here. I know somebody that got a Dove Award and they produced one of the recent Christian films. There's a lot of music here, a lot of country. In our little area here in Franklin, there's a lot of country singers that live there out in these huge, ginormous ranches. There's a medical community. There's Vanderbilt here. It's a highly esteemed medical community, kind of like on the same level as Cedars-Sinai. There's a lot of universities, University of Tennessee, Tennessee Tech. There's growth, obviously. So the construction industry is very big.
Entertainment industry is really big there. There's
Yes.
technology there. There's schools, university, medical industries thriving.
Yes.
It's a pretty diversified, strong economy, it sounds like.
Yes, it is.
What about there's things to do that maybe you don't participate in? I've heard Nashville is just a rockin' town. I mean, there's
It
just
really is. It really is. We don't get down there much. We're not really party music people. There's concerts, there's whiskey tastings all over the place. There's whiskey tastings.
oh yeah, Tennessee whiskey. That's right. Jack
Yeah,
Daniels.
that's a big industry here. They take it very seriously. It's government ordained, so it's kind of interesting. The churches here, I will say, they really integrate the community. They have a lot of outreach events, plays. They have a candlelight service on Christmas Eve, which you do not see in California. Last night we went to a bell choir concert in Brentwood, which is like a couple towns over. They have like the traditional hymn sings. Our little town on Saturday, it was the tree lighting ceremony. It was the Christmas parade. In town here, there's a place called Bowie Nature Center. It's acres and acres of trails, hiking.
Rivers and
there-
lakes?
There are rivers. There's Chattanooga, in Chattanooga, about 2.5 hours from us. There's huge lakes that kind of weave through the town. It's huge. At one point, you're driving in Chattanooga and you look to the left and you look to the right and all you see is water. You don't even hardly see land. You see land like way off. It's almost like a Great Lake type of thing. There's waterfalls. It's a more simple way of life. It's not hustling, bustling.
How are the schools? I know you talked a little bit about them before. How are the elementary schools? I know you don't have kids in elementary school, but tell us what you know about that. And then there's some universities and colleges that are nearby as well.
Highly rated. I know the schools in Williamson County, which is the county we're in, that's the highest rated in Tennessee.
There are good schools. And then there's universities and colleges, junior colleges
Yeah.
and junior colleges.
Yeah, they do. More called community, not city colleges. Columbia Community College, there's a couple branches of that. There's Belmont University, there's Tribeca, there's obviously a couple different universities, like the big universities where you see the
Tennessee.
football. Yeah, Tennessee Titans, a small venue of baseball, and there's talk that there's going to be a professional baseball team coming to Nashville because there's room for it.
Ooh. People, Californians are also want to know about the insects or critters that exist. You talked something about a turkey, a wild turkey that's there.
We have a company called Serval. Every 3 months, they come out, they spray the whole entire of your house. It's like $54 every quarter. We don't use them basically from November to March because the bugs are non-existent. The rest of the time you do want to have spray, but like I said, our house is insulated so well. And there's an outdoor service we have every April and every August. It basically kills mosquitoes, fleas and ticks, outdoor critters at bay. It kind of like a invisible parameter around your house. There's an armadillo infestation in Tennessee.
Armadillos.
Armadillos, and they went through our yard searching for grubs early last mid-spring. We had an armadillo trapper. He trapped it. He goes and humanely euthanizes it. In a matter of 2 weeks, he trapped 3 armadillos in our yard. And those creatures, you think they're cute. They carry all kinds of disease.
Are they aggressive?
No.
Snakes, you do have insects, you have mosquitoes, a little bit more there than in California, would you say, in terms of did you get bit more the last 2 years than the previous 2 years?
No, I've only seen dead snakes on the highway.
That's a good place to see them.
I mean, and they're dead, they're flat. You see them and you're like, this is just gross.
And it's 25 minutes from your house to the airport. Airport flies directly into John Wayne and LAX.
Yes, and it's an international airport. It's funny, the people around here, they say, oh, the traffic to Nashville International is so bad. I'm thinking, honey, this is not bad. This is super easy peasy, so easy.
So traffic is not even close to California. I've heard that a lot from other states. So what advice would you give any Californians who are thinking of moving to Tennessee?
Definitely do your homework, find out what's important to you, find out what you're looking for. If you have children, find out, investigate the schools.
The schools are good.
Yeah,
schools are
but
good.
different counties, they're not as good as Williamson is like the top rated. Really check out what's important to you in California. Find out what kind of makeshifts you could do. Make sure when you make a bid on a house or whatever and you're in escrow, make sure you call a local insurance agent and find out, has there ever been a problem? Because it has to be informed. If there's ever been flooding, make sure of that. Make sure of the banking. Just find out the medical community, find out the things you're interested in. If they have something like that, if you're interested in sports, that's what I would recommend. Obviously, just do your homework.
Now tell me this. This is probably going to have to search for this one, but what is the worst thing about Tennessee?
We did not know when we bought our house, we did not know that it was not encapsulated. And 12 days upon getting here, we are not in a flood zone. And we had a torrential rain. I mean, the backyard was flooded. Water came under the house. It freaked us out. So with that being said, we had a big expense. We encapsulated the property, which is like a sealant underneath. They do like a French drain all around the house, the whole perimeter of the house, a sub pump and a dehumidifier, and it seals off the whole interior. So if water comes near your property, it evacuates it to the end of the property.
Real estate wise, how is the housing market there? Is it tight inventory, a lot of inventory? What would you say?
There's a lot of inventory. People are just sitting here. I think people get scared. There's properties that are just sitting. They're building new homes, beautiful homes, but they aren't going fast like what they were. The house we're in was only on the market like, gosh, not even a whole day. And we made our offer. Properties stay stagnant, and it seems to have flattened out.
All right. Final question is, and this is, I think, is a cool one. I personally like it, but your house in Fullerton, it was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, approximately 1,600 square feet. What did we get that for that house? It was over $1 million.
Just shy of $1 million. We got
just shy of $1 million.
985.
Okay. And that was built in the early 60s.
63. Yeah, it was old. Yeah, it was an old house.
What did you buy your house? How many bedrooms, baths, size, age? We already know it's 8 years old. And then what did you pay for that house in Tennessee?
Okay. We're on a 1/4 acre. It's 2-story. The master suite is downstairs. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, attached garage. We bought it for $470,000.
So it's around 1/3 of the cost of California, probably.
Yes.
That was, I think, extremely helpful. I'm so grateful. And I reached out to Lori when I wanted to put this series together about Californians moving out of state. And she was so kind and sweet enough to even give me other people to talk to from other states. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. I really, really appreciate it. Everybody, hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. And I'll have not only shows about people that move from California to different states, but I have other shows that are all real estate related. And hopefully you'll find it useful. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lori. And take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.